You're listening to WZMB, Zombie Radio, your personal soundtrack to the end of the world. That was Orbital and Halcyon live. I hope you picked up on that little bit of fun within that song. I hope you were shot through the heart and found that heaven is a place on earth. Moo ha ha. I'm just fucking with ya. Besides, that was then, and this is now. And now I want to move on and read you a letter that came in while Halcyon was playing. The letter goes something like this. Zombie Radio. My name is Tuque. Yes, as in the Canadian hat, which is apropos as I am Canadian. I am writing to you with my story from the middle of a desert in the United States. You see, I am the proprietor of a little dive called the Last Casket. When the Mengele virus hit, it looked like the business I'd run for years was going to crumble to dust, a forgotten mirage of hope in the middle of nothing. But then something miraculous happened. In the middle of the night, a van pulled up to my parking lot, and a group of young men and a woman, the likes I had never seen before, stepped out. They had the strut of someone important and the look of business in their eyes. What I didn't know was that salvation was walking up to my bar. That was when I first met Kitty in a casket. They were desperate for a place to play their music so they could simply feel alive again. I had nothing to lose, so I let them set up and show me what they had. After a single song, I was convinced, and Kitty in a Casket became the official band of the Last Casket. With their punk-infused psychobilly sound, they helped to bring my establishment and the local community back to life. Now, the Last Casket serves up the best sounds and the best zomburgers you'll ever eat. If you're out in the desert and you see the neon sign, stop in to the Last Casket to feel alive again. I don't know how familiar you are with their music, but would you play a song of Kitty's for me? The world needs to know how their music saved my life and my soul. Thank you for doing what you do, Tuque. Well, Tuque, you are officially one of my favorite Canadians. And of course, I'll play a song to you from Kitty in a Casket. I've been a fan of theirs for years, and I would be honored to play a song for you, Tuque. How's about a little song from their Bittersweet album? The song is called The Cheesy Song, and I think it is perfect for this little moment, brought to you by The Last Casket. Rock on, Kitty, rock on. Yeah, that's right. It's nice to let go every once in a while, but now we are back with another zombie survival tip. This time, your zombie radio DJ is going to show you a little tip about creative weaponry. That's right, weapons. It is the apocalypse, and no matter how you feel about carrying a weapon, it's a necessity if you want to survive this nightmare. Now, of course, the weapon of choice for most would happen to be a gun. Why? Because guns are effective. You can take down one of the undead from a distance, but of course, not all of us have the skill to shoot a gun. or the want to shoot a gun. For those of you out there who do not want or do not have a gun, I have an idea. And that's why creative weaponry was born. What I have done is I have created a weapon that anyone can use. Now, the only drawback to this weapon is that it has to be used up close and personal with the undead. This weapon I like to call the pain stick. What this is a piece of PVC, your standard PVC, with a bolt attached to it. But this isn't an ordinary bolt. This bolt has been sharpened. Now, I sharpened mine with a Dremel because I happen to have a Dremel. If you don't have a Dremel, you can always take this bolt outside, find a rock, and spend the afternoon scraping. Or maybe you've got a hacksaw, or however you want to sharpen it. Now, of course, you don't have to sharpen it because this is a bolt, a steel bolt. And a steel bolt versus a human or an undead human eyeball, in the end, the bolt is always going to win. That's right. I've given you a clue as to how the pain stick is used. When you get up into a hand-to-hand combat, or you get close to a hand-to-hand combat situation with a zombie and you've got a pain stick on you, all you have to do is aim for the eyeball and thrust. That little bolt will go right through the eyeball and into the brain. If you wiggle this baby around a little bit, that brain will turn to mush and that zombie will drop to the ground. You have effectively saved your hide with nothing more than PVC, a bolt, a few nuts, and a little creativity. Now, I want to take this one step further. This is a PVC end cap. You see it fits right on there. I've already got one piece on there. Let me show you how this bolt is attached. What I've done is I've drilled a hole through the end cap, a hole big enough for the bolt to pass through. Oh, pardon me. So, what I've done is I've passed the bolt through there, as you can see. You take your needle nose pliers. Oh, let me get that nose hair. Thank you. Put the needle nose pliers in there and hold that bolt steady. Take your crescent wrench, otherwise known as an adjustable wrench. Tighten it down on that nut and crank it down, because you want this baby tight. You don't want it coming loose on you when you're trying to take down one of the zombies. Put this baby together, and you might want to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue in there to keep that thing permanently on. Now, this is the modification I was mentioning a little bit ago. I call this the back splatter catcher thingy. It doesn't have a name. Anyway, same hole. Drop it down and through there with another nut on. Screw this nut down there. Now, this is where you've got to be careful about how you sharpen your bolt. You want to still be able to put the nut on. Or you can put the nut on and then sharpen your bolt. Now, I'm going to move that nut on down there because you got to let your nut drop. Otherwise, your voice doesn't change. Oops. Mine changed, I swear. I used to talk like this. Oh no, Mr. Bell. Just kidding. Anyway, tighten that baby down on there and you have back splatter catcher thingy. What's this for? Well, when you jam this thing into an eyeball of a zombie, that little baby is going to keep the goo from splashing out on you. Of course, you can make it bigger if you want, but this just happens to be about the same size of an eye socket. You can also drill a hole in this end and add a nice little hook or a leather piece of, leather, whatever you would call that, and hook it to your belt. So you always have your pain stick with you. You never know when you're going to need it. Pull that baby out and wham! Down goes the undead. With just a piece of PVC and a bolt. Creative weaponry. It is going to make the difference between your life and your death. And if you're dead, you're undead. And if you're undead, you're a zombie. And you are my enemy. And I will take you down. This has been the Zombie Radio DJ with your zombie survival tips. Peace out, my babies. Be safe.